Welcome to another episode of Talking with Kevin and Son and the People You Should Know. We got a very special episode. This episode is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. Our mission is very simple. Through your story, we want to uplift and inspire people, share experiences and perspectives using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is very simple: hope, helping other people every day. Today, I got something special for you. I'm excited. Have you ever had a dream? You ever said, when I grow up, where I wanted to be? One day, if all the stars line up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, in my personal life, I hear this all the time. I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted my story to be told, or my story should be made in a movie. If you have ever said this to yourself or anyone else, then I've got something special for you. Today, I have a very special guest. He happens to be a friend. He happens to be a writer, producer, author of a book called Milkman, producer of a film that's on Netflix that's called The Milkman, the same as the title of the book. And now he's doing something special. When I talk about giving back, Mr. Hugh Weathers, my good friend, is now looking for people that have books so he can turn them into movies. So if you stick with us long enough, you'll hear his story and you'll hear how your book can be turned into a movie. And so I want to welcome my very good friend and special guest, Brother Hugh Weathers. Welcome to Talking with WIT, Kevin and Son. How you doing, young man?
I'm doing good, young fella. How are you? Good to see you and good to be on your show. Thank you very
Man,
much for that introduction.
well, thank you. I'm so glad I put on a hoodie today instead of a shirt and tie or a vest, whatever, because,
Yes,
I'm looking at your background picture and I know that's a picture of you
yes,
sitting up there, all
yes,
those muscles up there.
yes.
Congratulations. Not a lot of
Thank you.
people get a chance to have a book turned into a movie. You have a movie on Netflix.
Yes, so not to
Writer.
correct you, Kevin. It's on Amazon Prime and it's on Tubi.
All right, please. Amazon Prime and Tubi. I
Prime and
should have
Tubi.
paid it.
Yes.
All right. And I have watched it.
Thank
Good
you.
movie. I had a good time. I'm very proud of you for one.
Thank you,
But
Kevin. Thank you very much.
the movie industry, they just settled in on the writer strike, and
Yes,
it's come to an end. Now we're going back to lights, cameras, and action.
yes.
Hughes, I know for myself, I know how you got into this business, but
Hmm.
long before you became a published author, long before
Yes,
you became a producer, um,
yes.
who was Hughes Weathers? Where'd you come from? How'd you grow up? And who was your mentor?
I was born in Washington, D.C., raised in the city of Alexandria, Virginia. And my greatest mentor was my parents, my mother, my father. My father was a hardworking man. He was a bricklayer. He was in the Bricklayers Union. He laid bricks for 45, almost 50 years. My mother was a domestic. She was a hardworking woman, and I learned a lot from them by watching them. They taught me also running in the streets of D.C. and the city of Alexandria. You learn the good people teaches you what to do, and the not so good people teach you what not to do. And so you just take it all in, man, and learn from everybody. Take bits and pieces from everybody to put your own puzzle together. And that's what I did over the years. I used to write. I wrote a little bit from my high school newspaper, and I also wrote a little bit in the college newspaper when I went to college. I wrote my first script way back then. Kind of shopped it around, and people kind of laughed at it and said, "This is crazy. It's not going to work." And 10 years later, it came out. I didn't know about copyright and all of that. Nobody taught me that, so I didn't have it copywritten. But 10 years after that, that same script came out into a Hollywood movie and made it was a mega movie and made millions of dollars. So plagiarism is the ultimate compliment. So then I said, well, I got something here. I'm just gonna keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, like our ancestors taught us to do. Just don't quit, don't throw in the towel, just keep doing, keep doing. And if you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your parents, and you owe it to the brothers and sisters who put their lives on the line to get us here and fight every day to keep us here. So I did it for them as well as myself.
Well, Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. So I'm glad
Yes,
you know better. I did
yes.
not know that you had a film, and I'm going to put it out there. You can answer no,
Thank you.
or put it out there.
Thank you.
What was the title of that movie that made millions?
I don't want to get you and I sued, but it was called. I wrote it. It was called Brother Gigolo, and it came out years later as Deuce Bigelow. I
All
wrote that
right.
in college. I wrote that in
All right.
college, but okay.
Well, that's okay. It's not like we're going to end up in court or whatever. I
Okay,
actually
cool.
met the young lady that she says that she wrote the original manuscript for The Matrix, and so that's been a big
Yes,
thing, whatever. So
yes, yes.
it happens. That's the reason why we have the Writers Guild and copyrights and everything else. But
Mhm.
you put pen to paper.
Yes, you do.
Everyone always asks me, how do I've always wanted to write a book. How do you write a book? My story should be made into a movie. That was the
Mhm.
opening lines to this intro. You sat down to write a story called The Milkman. Tell us about
Yes.
that story. Let's talk about the book first before we talk about the movie and how it became a
Yes.
movie.
Well, when I wrote The Milkman when I was a little boy, the we used to have the milk, eggs, and juice delivered to our house, and the a white male used to deliver to our house, and then a black man started delivering it, and then some crazy stuff went down with organized crime or whatever, but they stopped him from delivering milk to our house, to our neighborhood, and that's where that thought came from, the milkman vengeance. And I wanted my character not to be a victim, but I wanted him to be a hero. And I wanted to bring in the community and all the parents and all the brothers and sisters and everybody who's gone through what we've gone through, and let you know this man came from our neighborhood. He was legit. He did a good job. But since he wouldn't pay the mob off for the routes, they took his life right in front of his grandson. So his grandson saw his father being killed like that. So he grew up to revenge his father, not as a killer, but just to help the community bring the business back and to get things back in order. But every time he took out a bad guy, he was revenging the death of his father. And that right there is a story within itself. And that's how these t-shirts are being sold and these hats are being sold, because the way the book is written, everybody can find something in that book about themselves, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, or somebody in the community. Everybody, every piece of everybody's soul is in that book. And that's why I put the pen to paper. And I would tell anyone to sit down and start writing. Write from your heart, write from your soul, write from your experiences. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody hold you back. You know, life ain't no hill for a climber. So just keep on climbing and keep on going through those hurdles, and you will get there. You will
I
get
like
there.
that. I like that. Life is not a hill for
Hill
a
for a climber.
climber.
No, keep
Also,
climbing. Yeah,
keep climbing.
yeah,
Uh,
like
I,
you spoke of Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou also told us, once you know who, you know how. Once you know who you're dealing with, you know how to deal with them.
and that's the reason why we pay attention to our ancestors, to the elders, because
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
pass on wisdom. But I
Yes.
do know this from Hollywood, from personal
Yes.
experience.
Hmm.
A lot of times the book does not translate to a movie, and the movie does not reflect directly from the book because of creative differences of opinion.
Yes.
How
Yes.
close is the movie to the book?
It's pretty close based on the budget. Once we got the budget together now, that book, if you read The Milkman word for word, line for line, page for page, scene for scene, that's a multi-million-dollar movie. Of course,
Right.
we wasn't able to raise that kind of money, but based on the money that we were able to raise, that, you know, once we got the budget and we got it greenlit, we brought in the talent that we can afford to have, and we kept it as close as we could. And so it's pretty close. It's about 74% on point, based on the budget, how it played out. And it turned out okay for a low budget film. It did okay. It turned out all right for a low budget film.
All right. So let me ask you this: the process. I take it this is an
Yes,
independent film, correct?
yes, yes, it is.
All
Yes,
right. So as an independent film, for those of you that don't know the difference between a big Hollywood budget film and a independent, normally what happens is that there's an agent with a writer that goes to a group of people. They become producers. The producers are the people that put money into the putting everything together. That hires the director, the actors,
mhm,
and then they put together a package in order to present it to a studio. A
correct.
studio opts in order to put more money into it, in order to slate it with all the other releases, and they give you a timeline to make the movie, which is
Right.
hard because 90% of the
Yes, it's
people that
tough.
put, yep, 90% of the people that start a movie can't finish it. So for
Correct.
you to put it in the can, uh,
Hmm.
is huge. That means that you are a marketable commodity in Hollywood. Now, the hard part is is how do you put all those pieces together? How did you find a director? How did you find other producers? And who in the hell put money into a film that no one knew anything about the book? It wasn't a bestseller or anything else. How did all that happen?
Right.
And tell us.
Okay, what I did, Mr. Macklemore, I just once, like I said, I just stayed with it. I knew I could not compete with the people in Hollywood. I wasn't going to try. And as you said, the young lady who wrote The Matrix, it was really taken away from her after she wrote it, copied it, and everything. So when you have all those people involved, you also open yourself up to other people to come in to take your ideas, to take things from you, and you got to jump through all those hoops and you got to go through all those hurdles to go through everything. And then the people who put the money into it, they want artistic rights. They want to tell you what it should look like, what it should be like, what it wants you to get it on. And then you look up, that's not your idea. That's not what I wanted. That's not your idea. When I sit down and wrote this, what is that on that screen? That's not what I had in my mind. That's not what I had in my soul. That's not what my ancestors died for. So Prince, I went to school in Minneapolis. I met Prince way back before he passed away, and he said artistic expression is worth its weight in gold. So you need to hang on to it. So I just had to keep it small, keep it tight. And what I did was I interviewed a couple of directors who did some movies, who did some screenplays, who did some things. And I chose a man by the name of Vernon Williams III on the Free 3 Productions. He had done a lot of stage plays, and he wanted to do a feature film. He said, "Hey, Doc Weathers, just give me a chance, man. Work with me. I've always wanted to do a feature." I said, "Okay, you take a chance on me. I'm going to take a chance on Lou. Take a chance on you. Let's do this together." So we formed a partnership. We formed a team, Weathers Productions LLC, and Vernon Williams Productions. We just came together. I went to a young man who had some money, and I said, "Man, this is how much money I need." So he loaned me $30,000, and then I put the rest of it myself. I had a couple of nice vintage vehicles that was worth a little bit of change, so I sold both of my cars, and he put up 30,000, and I put up the rest. I sold my personal property, and I put up the rest because they just sitting in the driveway collecting dust. I only drive them on the weekend, so let me use this as a tool, you will, a vehicle, using a vehicle as a satire, use these vehicles to get the money. So I raised my own money through my personal property, and then I had an investor come in. We put it all together. And once we put out the casting call, man, I was very surprised, Mr. Michael, that we got like 300 some people call and say, "I want to be in it. I want you." Some people, "Man, you got to pay me. Just let me be in your movie. I just want to act. I want to do something." Because people that flew out to Hollywood and promise was made to them, and they interviewed and they auditioned and didn't get roles, and they came back to the metropolitan area and they heard about me. So they came to me. I said, "Well, you got to go through Mr. Vernon Williams. If he think you can do this, he'll put you in there." Because I'm not a scout person. I'm not a talent person, but he knew what he wanted. So he got his people, he got his directors and all the computers and all the stuff that was needed. We put it all together and he did a great job. And, just like that quarter, I just took the ball and I handed it to him. I said, "Man, look, you run with this." Because I'm not a helicopter executive producer. I'm not going to be hovering over you. And I'm not going to be, micromanaging you. I trust that you know what you're doing. So you just have to put together a team and trust in what they're doing and let them run. Let people express themselves and let them run. And that's what we did.
That's the amazing thing about actors, is because and I learned this from many years ago. The father that played on Bill Cosby's show used to be one of my teachers. He played Bill Cosby's father on there, and he told
Okay,
me
I
that
remember him.
yeah, he said that he says you always got to be hungry. He says
Yes.
actors that
Yes.
just want to have stardom and lots of money, whatever. He said there was not actors. He said actors will literally work for free in order to work at their craft. They just want to get
Yes.
out there. They want to be
Yes.
part of something. And that's the reason why I love actors. I love
Right.
actors because
Right.
they just want to be part of something. And believe
Yes.
it or not,
Yes.
the more you give, the more you give back. And so for
Yes.
you
The
young
world is round.
actors, yep, for you young
The
actors,
world
I
is round.
commend you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
commend you.
Yeah, they
So
came, Kevin. They came. I mean, I was really surprised. They were like, they showed their what they call composites, and they showed their reels, the little movies that they've been in, and the commercials that they've been in. And I had to tell them, I said, "Man, I don't think I can pay you with the." So don't worry about paying me. Just, when I heard that when they did the movie, I ain't gonna call it a movie, but it was a hit to me. But the gentleman said they only paid them $16,000. I was like, "Man, you what?" Sony only paid him $16,000 for a major role. That just blew me away. So I said, okay, well, I learned. I said, well, come on, let's do this. So he came on and he joined us.
Yeah, you'll be surprised on how many actors before they became stars. I mean, Tom Cruise in the middle of Taps was an extra before he got a
Okay,
starring role. So,
okay,
they
yeah,
don't do it for the money until the money becomes part of the negotiation for the movie. And I don't know if
correct,
AI is going to
correct.
change that or not, but congratulations, congratulations. So the movie's out, it's doing well,
Yes, yes,
and
it is.
hopefully you and your investors have made it back to sell your cars. I know how attached you are
Yeah, I
to
had to. I had
your
to.
cars because
Yes.
I'm the same way. It's like I
Mhm,
got a car that I don't want to give up, but um, the first, I've always learned the first investor you have in
mhm.
your dream has to be you. You have to
Yes,
invest something.
you
If
got to
not your
invest in
time,
yourself.
yep,
Yes.
you got to invest in your time. So
You got to
now,
invest your time and you got to, and people in this business, as you well know, Kevin, they want to see what you brought to the table. What skin have you, bringing the skin to this game. Once they see that you invested in yourself and you invested in your dream and you invest in what you believe in, they will work with it. This cat is real. He put his own money up. So he's invested in himself. And that creates a lot of respect in this business.
so the book's out. You said I've read the book. So
Yes.
70% of what's in the book, um,
Yes.
it's in the movie. So it's
Yes, it
30% of
is.
it still. How do we get your book? Where's your book being sold out of?
My book is on, you can go to my website, it's weathersproductions.com. That's Weathers with an S, Productions with an S.com. And once you go on my website, all my stuff, the movies come up, the books come up, you go to menu. And when you go to menu, it shows you where the books are, and you can hit select the book, the Milkman. You can select it and fill out it, and then I will send it. You purchase it online. I think it's like $14 or something like that. It's not that much, and then I will send it to you. I'll put it in. I'll go to the UPS, or I'll go to United States Postal Office, and it'll be at your door within 4 days.
Will you sign it for our
Yes,
listeners?
of course. I sign all my books. Once when you purchase it, you put your name, your address, and so your name will be the Mister or Mrs. and I'll have your name. Then I sign it to you, and then it'll be at your door within 4 days.
Yeah, and just for the listeners that get a signed copy of the book, you can't return a signed copy of a book. So once you own it, it's yours. Quick
Correct.
question. All right, so
Yes.
now we're going to go to the next level. Your
Okay.
book
Sure.
is now a movie. All right,
Yes.
you've got it in production and whatever. The biggest thing is like there's always another rim to the ladder. So now that you've got the money, you've got your
Yes.
producer, you got a
Yes.
screenplay. Now you've got
Yes.
a cast.
Yes.
Okay, we can all make movies on our cell phones, but how do you get distribution? How do you get into Tubi and what's the other one? You got your movies on
Amazon Prime.
Amazon
We
Prime.
yeah, I hired a I don't want to I don't I didn't talk to her about giving a name, but I hired a public relations person who's in the business, has been in the business for 26 years. And she helped us get it out there. She helped us put it on Amazon Prime. She helped us put it on Tubi. Another gentleman that Mr. Vernon Williams and I work with, we paid him some money and he helped promote it. See, uh, um, the uh, the distribution, is putting it on the shelf. And the promotion is letting the people know where the shelf is letting them know where to watch it. You put that jar of peanut butter on the shelf, you got to let them know where that shelf is, whether it's in Safeway, Giant, or Magruder's or Kruger's, whatever. So we wanted to put it out there in front of many people as we can. So we put it on Amazon Prime and we put it on Tubi. We also advertised on WA. We ran an article on WHUR for 2 weeks, and TV1. We bought ads with TV1. They have two radio stations, KYS, and then the other station. So we ran ads there for 2 weeks. So you do have to put some money in supporting your project. You got to get it in front of people. And once again, like you said, you got to invest in yourself and bring skin to the game. And so putting it on WHUR and put it on KYS. And we also, Mr. Vernon Williams and the actor, they were on Channel 4, they were on Channel 5, and we were on Channel 7. So we also was on local TV on three different stations, and we promoted it on air right there. And that really, really brought a lot of lookers and a lot of listeners to Amazon Prime and to because it was on, we was on AM Primetime America, in the metropolitan area. We was in front of maybe 4 or 5 million people for like 3 weeks on the TV shows.
That's congratulations again.
Thank
So
you.
book, we've gone through the process for how to do it. We also
Yes,
know that even though you raise money for the production of the film, there's still more
yes,
money to be spent on hiring a PR person and get
yes,
advertising, get some wheels
yes,
on
yes,
on your new whip, so that your new
yes,
whip is your movie, and then
yes,
word of mouth advertising. I think social media played a big part
yes,
of
it
that.
did.
So
Yes,
people
it
got to
did.
tell your story. So
Yes,
you're successful. Most people, all they think about is themselves.
right.
But you and your partner Vernon, you guys are flipping the script and saying other people should have be part of this joyride.
Yes,
Why
correct.
are you guys now looking for books to turn into movies? And what's that process like?
Well, because people help me, people help Vernon. We want to help people. We did it, Mr. Vernon Williams and I. We did this, and people stopped. People saw him on TV. They saw me in the book, and they also, I'm the old man. I get shot up in the end, so they saw me in the movie. So when they
Don't
watched the
tell the end
movie,
of the movie. Come
okay,
on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, they saw me in the movie, so they stopped me on the street. Said, "Man, we saw your movie. We saw you in the movie. Read your book. God, how can we do what you did? Help us." I said, "Okay." So Vernon and I, we started a company called Exodus Media. It's called Exodus Media, where we have a movie. Our business is books to film. It's called Books to Film, where we help writers turn their books into film. And if they have an idea that they want to put on paper, we can also help them, show them and teach them and help them put their ideas on paper so we can take it from paper to the silver screen. So we have the company called Books to Films, and then Vernon and I have a company called Exodus Media, where we direct, produce, and distribute our own products now. We do our own distribution now. So
That's
we
pretty
got
exciting.
yes,
I just did a podcast yesterday and we were talking about um, AI and the puppet master being Hollywood and how we need to return the true story of movie making back to
yes,
independent film. So
yes.
it's very refreshing to hear you
Thank you.
say that you do your own film. So if
Yes, we
someone
do.
has a book, is
Yes,
there a certain genre? Because I know there's a formula for every studio. Every studio
right.
is looking for either a comedy, a dramedy, action, adventure. Horror happens to be real big because I've got friends in
Mm,
California now that are all
right.
now looking for scripts or spec
Mhm.
scripts for horror movies.
Right. Right.
What's what are you guys looking for?
Well, we are not going to limit ourselves to anything. If you have a comedy, you have a love story, you have a horror film, whatever you have that's in your heart, your soul that you don't put on paper, or you want us to help you put on paper, it doesn't matter. We'll work with you. We will work with you because we're not going to limit ourselves. So when you don't have a love story, you don't have a homicide, we're not going to work with you. We don't operate like that. There's a lot of talented people out there, and you shouldn't categorize people. You shouldn't put people in the box, because when you put people in the box, you limit their ability uh, 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 to uh, to explore. You don't take an eagle and clip his wings. You let him fly, let him soar. So whatever your ideas are, whatever your books are, give us a shout. Reach out to us. We'll work with you. We don't have any categories. We're not limited to any particular genre.
Is there a cost to work with you?
Yes, the cost would be based on book that you have, how many pages in it, how many scenes, to say it's going to cost you this or that. We would have to see what you have, see what your book is all about, and we would have to determine what would it take to produce your movie and put it to a silver screen. Then we'll put a budget together based on what you have.
Now, let me ask you a question. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Because most
Sure.
people that write books are poor, and most people that write
Okay.
books don't make any money off of it because we all believe we have a story to be told. There's only
Right.
1% of us that ever get a chance to have a book that becomes a bestseller, has a book that's going to become a feature film. But if I happen to have that book, that story
Yes.
that needs to be told, but I'm
Yes.
dead broke, I'm barely eating every single day, but I
Mhm.
hear this story. How do I fit into this dream? Does my dream die with my prosperity, or does
No.
opportunity open up for me?
Opportunities can you'll never die standing on your feet. You want to be creative. You want to reach out there, see what's available. always be creative. As you use your creativity to write your book or to write your storyline or write your script, you got to be just as creative in trying to get the financing. There's money out there, there's financing out there, there's a lot of capital out there. You just have to be creative and go out there and get it, meet people, talk to people, let them know who you are, what you're doing, and you people will help you connect the dots because there are people out there with money willing to invest. But a closed mouth doesn't get fed. If they don't know you need it, they not gonna, you won't get it. A closed mouth don't get fed. You got to go out there and blow your horns, shout loud, and say, I'm in it. Say, I'm here. This is what I've got. And the resources are available. You just have to be very creative and go out there and get it.
All right. So I don't know anything about raising money for a film and whatever. I just have a book. I have a friend that I'm going to refer you to, but she's
Sure.
a working mom with kids and has zero
Mhm.
money. Will you
Okay.
invest in that film? Will you partner with her in that film in order to get her story told?
Yeah, what I would do for her, I would once I see her film, see what she's got, I'll make some phone calls on her behalf as mine as well as the company. And just, sometimes, Kevin, you just got to run it up the flagpole and see who salutes. You know what I mean? So I'd run it up the flagpole and see if we can get some select, see if we get somebody to salute. I just make some calls for her and the company behalf and let them know, hey, we got this project. We need about XYZ, we need about blank, blank dollars. And as long as it ain't millions of dollars, and you're not trying to, like you said earlier in the show, we're not trying to compete with Hollywood. There's people out there with plenty of money and looking to invest, but they want to make sure that you're legit and that you can get this done. And with 3 books, I've written 3 books and I've got a movie done. I've proven to the world, Kevin, I'm sorry, Vernon and I have proven to the world that we can do this. And once you show the world you can do something, they'll talk to you. They'll sit down with
That's
you. They'll work with you.
that you can, and that's why I said right now you're money. Like I said, I've known many of people that have started this show and can't get it the horse out of the barn, but you got it through the field, over the hills and dales and whatever, and look at you, you're shining, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Um,
Thank you very much. We shine. Look, we all shining stars in this world. We shining together.
so
Everybody's a star.
if I'm an author
Yes.
and I need to get in touch with you and Vernon, how do I get in touch with you again?
Okay. My website is H Weathers Blues at Verizon.net. That's H Weathers Blues at Verizon.net. And my like I said before, you can reach me at weathersproductions.com. And my cell number is 571-246-3039. That's all
Oh,
my contact information.
you gave out your cell phone number. You're going to be getting all type of calls from you, Mr.
That's all.
Weathers.
Man, people can look. People can't talk to you. You can't help people. They don't talk to you.
All right, all right. Well,
All
you know
right.
something? I may have a book or two that I may be able to talk to you, but I do have some
Sure.
friends that need some love, that have some great
Sure.
stories, and I would
Sure.
definitely connect them. So,
Sure.
what's on the horizon for you? What's your next movie or what's your next book?
I've written 3 books, and there's a follow-up to the Milkman. It's called Milk and Cookies. Milk and Cookies is a book about a young, when the milkman leaves the scene, he has 2 children. He has a son and a daughter, Milk and Cookies, and they pick up where he leave off.
All
And
right.
that's the
Well,
next one. Yeah.
I want to know that casting call because I'm coming.
Okay. And also, I have another book called The Dark Federal. That's about my life in high school. I went to Fordham High School back I graduated in '77. And my senior year, I was the only black athlete on the football team. So the racism, the bigotry, the hatred, the double standards, the politics all played a role in what we were doing. So I was the only black on the team. So our mascot was called the Fighting Federals. I was the only brother out there, so I was the Dark Federal fighting, all kind of battles. You know what I mean? I'm a fighter, man. I'm the Dark Federal.
Oh,
And it doesn't stop. It doesn't
the,
stop.
the Dark Federal.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I am looking
Okay.
forward to that.
Yeah, it's on the
Uh,
website. It's on the website.
all right, Hughes.
Yeah.
As always, I'm impressed by you. I love you, brother.
Thank you,
Um,
brother. I love you too.
the fact that you're giving back um, says a lot about you. You are someone that people should know. A lot of times, gems like you are kept secret just
Hmm.
because we get to a place as people, especially in the
Hmm.
business of entertainment, and we forget how hungry we were and who opened the door for us.
Right.
I don't think there's anyone that's ever made it is self-made. I think everyone that has gotten a step up on that ladder has had
Mhm.
someone holding the ladder or reaching for them to step up on the next realm. And you're doing that,
Sure, for
providing
sure.
anyone and everyone. Doesn't make a
Mhm.
difference, male, female.
No,
It doesn't
no.
make a difference your genre or whatever. Doesn't make a
Mhm.
difference how thick or short the book is. You
Right.
now have an opportunity to turn your film, your book, into a
Yes.
feature film. And
Yes,
Mr.
you do
Hugh
have that.
Weathers and his brother and business partner Vernon, I'm saying his brother because we're all related somewhere,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
is providing you with that opportunity. Hughes,
Yes.
this has been a long time coming. We've been trying to get this interview
Yes, we have.
for a long time. This is what happens when you have famous friends. Um, you can have breakfast with them or whatever, but you can't get them on a podcast because they're too busy.
Right.
So, but I thank you for taking the time
Thank you.
out the door.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
one day I hope to have on the background of in my studio one of those
Mhm.
billboards that says you know written by or book by or
You will.
taken by. I know I will. I
You
have
will.
no doubt. I have
Oh,
no
no
doubt.
doubt.
I
No
have no
doubt.
doubt.
No doubt.
It's a matter of time, not if, it's when. But
Okay.
the spotlight is shining on you.
The
So
spotlight on
Kevin,
all of us.
it's on all of us, and I'm
It's on
glad
all
you're
of us.
I'm glad you're shining on everyone else. So if you have a dream, if you ever thought about when I was going to grow up, what I wanted to do, or if you
Mm-hmm.
had a story that needs to be told and it should be a feature film, contact my brother, Mr. Hughes Weathers, Weaphers. And then what's your
Correct.
phone number again?
It's 571-246-3039.
And your dreams can come true. With that said, my
Yes.
grandfather always said, wait a minute, I'm going to back up. I forgot to ask you this. Hughes, if you
Well,
had one ask, and I didn't tell you this at the top of the show, and the reason why I
sure.
didn't do this is because since the conception of Talking Wit, WIT, Kevin and Son,
Yes.
I started this show. I've had four people that have listened to my show. And I always said
Mhm.
that I'm not looking for thousands of likes and thousands of followers. I'm looking for people like my own social circle, people that have a higher call to action. My friends, they don't stop, drive by an accident, they stop to help. So when I
Right.
ask people to subscribe and follow, I only want people that want to be active and making a difference in someone's life. I only want
Sure.
people that's interested in making social change. I only want to be connected to people that's providing opportunities when opportunities have been provided for them. I want people
Mm-hmm.
that's going to give back. So I'm going to ask you ASK.
Yes.
If you had one dream or one wish to come true or one question to ask right now, and someone in the audience can make that ask come true, what would it be?
I would tell them reach out to Kevin Blackmore, talking with Kevin and Son, and he will highlight you, show you to the world. He will highlight your talents, let the world know who you are and what you bring to the table. That's the greatest ask any human being could ever ask, is being in a position to help yourself as well as helping others. You got to talk to Kevin about that.
I appreciate you for giving me love and taking the shine off of you and shining
Thank you.
on me, but I'm going to give it back to you because you're in a place in a position to make people's dreams come true. And I want to thank you for blessing, not only this program with your love, your aspiration, um, and your gift, but
Mm-hmm.
I just want to thank you for just being a good person wanting to give back. We've all had struggles. We all
Mm-hmm.
had histories where we struggled, but
Yes.
you're just making it easy to lighten the load for some people. And if you get a
Yes.
chance to have your dream to be on big screen, to be on, on that clicker inside your small screen at home, Hughes Weathers can make that dream come true. Turn your book
Yes.
into a film. So with
Yes.
that said, my grandfather always said, when you get to a place you can help someone else, it is your duty to
Yes.
do so.
Yes, it
Reach one,
is.
teach one.
Fun.
And with that said, we'll fade to black.